Hi, welcome to the Augusta Baker Storytelling Experience, diversity, equity, and inclusion programming for children of all ages, otherwise known as AB Kids. I am Valerie Bird-Fort. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an instructor for the iSchool at the University of South Carolina. I teach courses in children's literature, school libraries, and library programming. In addition, I am the coordinator of Cocky's Reading Express. I'm so happy you're here. This series is named in honor of Augusta Braxton Baker, who was the first African-American coordinator of children's services within the New York Public Library system. She worked at New York Public Library for 37 years and then came to South Carolina, where she served as the school's storyteller in residence for 14 years. Before we get started, some reminders. Today's session is recorded. Make sure that you are on mute. Feel free to participate freely in the chat. We are moderating the chat. And feel free to use reactions. You can find the reactions in your Zoom controls down at the bottom of your screen. As mentioned, today's program is part of a series. Please visit the AB Kids website to register for future sessions and to explore and register for all Baker programming. The link will be posted in the chat. And now for our presenter. Cearra Harris is a full-time doctoral student at the University of South Carolina in the Library and Information Science program. She is currently a presidential fellow at the University of South Carolina and an American Library Association Spectrum Doctoral Fellow. Her research interests include EDI in librarianship, human information behaviors of BIPOC communities, and social justice in librarianship. Before beginning her studies, Cearra worked diligently as a librarian to create programs and initiatives that focused on the immediate needs of marginalized groups. Please welcome Cearra Harris.
Hi friends, welcome to a very special AB Kids presentation titled, We Are Stronger Together. It's a trauma-informed story time, so I get to introduce you to that. But my name is Cearra, and I'm so excited to be here with you all today. Let's get straight into it. So I am currently a University of South Carolina Library and Information Science PhD student. But before I went back to school, I worked as a youth librarian in North and South Carolina. I loved working with young people, and I created programs, story times, STEM programs, drama programs, arts programs, anything you could think of where I could best serve young people that came into the library. That was my favorite thing to do. And doing programs like what we're about to do together today is just another example of that. This is a picture of me at a MagicCon event about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was an amazing time, and the library was filled with people who were dressed just as this young person is that's standing right beside me. So before we get into story time, I think it's really important that we give ourselves a hug today. Our space is all about being safe and being the best versions of ourselves. So sometimes that means you have to let go of the things that you were bringing into the space before we can really get started and before you can really immerse yourself in the wonderful books that I'm going to read. So we're going to start off by giving ourselves a hug, okay? So to do this, I want you to stretch your arms up really high. Stretch your arms up really high, really high, really high. And when you're stretching up, I want you to close your eyes and picture yourself letting go of everything that you brought into this space that would prohibit you from really enjoying yourself. So release, release, release. And then I want you to drop your arms to your sides and shake them off. Shake off all your worries, all your fears. Shake off everything. Shake it all off. Then I want you to stretch to the back, and I hope you can see me stretching to the back. Give your back a really good stretch. And when you stretch to the back, I want you to let go of the past, let go of anything that was bothering you yesterday, let go of it all. And now we're ready to give ourselves a hug because we've let go of everything. So to give yourself a hug, I first want you to lift up your left arm and wrap it around and grab your right shoulder and hold it tight. Then I want you to lift up your right arm and wrap it around and grip your left shoulder tight. And we're going to hug ourselves for 3 seconds. And when you give yourself this hug, squeeze and tell yourself that you love yourself and give yourself some grace and some joy because we're about to enjoy ourselves. So let's count together. 1, 2, 3. Woo! That was good. I needed that hug, y'all. I hope you did too. Okay, before we get into the good stuff, I do want to talk about what trauma-informed care is and why it's important. So I put a definition on there for the adults who might be watching this, but for all our kiddos, trauma-informed care is just a fancy way of letting people know that we understand that everyone that we come into contact with has been through some things. Everyone has had to overcome some obstacles in life that could have been rather hard. But we show up as people and as providers and as adults and as kids. We show up and we let people know that no matter what they've been through, that they're still welcome, that they're still valued, and that they still are loved. And that's all the story time is about, to letting ourselves know and letting the people that we know that we come in contact with, that they are still loved. So under traditional trauma-informed care, they have 6 tenets. But for our story time, I've called them building blocks. So there are 6 building blocks of this type of care and support that you can provide to people. And the first is safety. Then there's trust. Then there's support. Then there's collaboration. And then there is empowerment. And finally, there's cultural, historical, and gender issues that could have occurred in someone's life that makes life hard sometimes. But for today's story time, we're going to focus on the top 3 building blocks. So safety, which means to feel safe mentally, physically, and emotionally. Trust, so that's using transparency with the goal of maintaining and building trust. So we're honest with ourselves when we show up for our friends, and that's how we let them know that they can trust us. And finally, support. And I put support last because you need safety and trust to truly support someone and to receive support, and then to also support the people in your life. So those are our 3 building blocks. The stories that I share will align with each of the building blocks, and that is what's going to make our story time a trauma-informed time together. So this first book that I'm going to read goes along with our first building block, safety. And it's called When I'm With You. And as I read this story, I want you to reflect on who in your life makes you feel safe. So this book is called When I'm With You by Pat Zietlow Miller and illustrated by Eliza Wheeler. And as I read this title, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of our 2 characters and think about who makes you feel safe, who makes you feel the way that these 2 people feel about each other and their beautiful friendship. Let's get into it. When I'm With You. There's something that I've noticed. Perhaps you've seen it too. Life's so much better when it's me and you. It seems I've always liked you ever since I can recall. I think it must have started when we were both small. Or maybe it came later, once we had a chance to grow. I really can't remember, but this is what I know. You're the apple on my tree. You're the honey to my bee. It doesn't matter what we do. I'm happier with you. You're the numbers in my set, all the sums I don't know yet. But if 1 + 1 makes 2, I'm the one who goes with you. You're the colors that I choose and the paint I always use. You like pink and I like blue. I'll make lavender with you. You're the hat that fits my head. You're the hilltop for my sled. When I sneeze, you say achoo, and that makes me laugh with you. But some days aren't as funny. Skies are cloudy and clouds are gray. And although you're right beside me, we don't have a lot to say. You don't always do the right thing, but I know you always try. You help when life gets messy, and that's just one reason why. You're the soap that scrubs my dish. You're the flakes that feed my fish. When there's lots of work to do, it's more fun when I'm with you. You're the basket on my bike and the canteen for my hike. Somewhere old or somewhere new, I'd go anywhere with you. Someday we'll both be older. Doesn't that seem rather strange? And of course, life will be different, but I hope we'll never change. We might live close together, or many miles apart, but I'll find a way to keep you in my head and in my heart. You'll be the story that I need, all the news that I can read. I'll learn what, where, when, and who, then I'll share it all with you. You'll be the music I will sing, the first doorbell I will ring. And even if we're 92, I will harmonize with you. You'll be the key to my lock, the right shoe for my sock, my swing set in the park, my flashlight in the dark, the candle for my cake, my favorite wish to make. And from now till time is through, I will still be friends with you. The end. Beautiful job, friends. That was When I'm With You, written by Pat Zietlow Miller and illustrated by Eliza Wheeler. And I hope as I was reading this story, you were thinking about the people in your life who, just like these characters, feel safe when they're together, safe on the good days and safe on the bad days. Who is that person for you? Tell us, and well, tell me in the chat and in the comments. For me, it's my parents, it's my family, it's my best friends, people I know who love and care for me on my good days and on my bad days. Who's that person in your life? Think about it. And I challenge you to tell them today just how much they mean to you. And let them know that you love them and that you appreciate them making you feel safe. Thanks, guys. That was our first book. I'm so excited because guess what you just did? You just hit that first building block of trauma-informed care and it's safety. You have people that you feel safe with, and then you're the person that someone can be safe with. Thanks. Let's get back to it. So our next book goes with our second building block, which is trust. And as we read this one, I want you to reflect on and really question and ask yourself, how can you show your friends that they can trust you? And think beneath the surface of what our traditional viewpoint of trust is, but how can the people in your life know that they can trust you to push them forward, to be there when times get hard, and to pull them through some of these obstacles that they may be going through? How can you be a trustworthy friend? Put it in the chat, talk to a friend about it, put it in the comments, or simply reflect on it so that you know that you can be a better friend going forward. So this is Who Are Your People by Bakari Sellers. So for the tenet trust, I'm going to be reading Who Are Your People, written by Bakari Sellers and illustrated by Reggie Brown. And I chose this book because I think sometimes when we think about trust, we don't realize how important trust is and how important it is to stand up for someone and be that supportive person and pull people through hard times and to let them know that anything is possible with you by their side. So to illustrate that, we're going to take a look back to see how people throughout history have been there for other people and been people that they could trust and how it changed the world. So this is Who Are Your People, written again by Bakari Sellers and illustrated by Reggie Brown. And I love this. I actually had the opportunity to meet Mr. Sellers, and he signed this book for me. How exciting. When you meet someone for the first time, they might ask, who are your people and where are you from? Who are your people? Do y'all recognize any of those faces in the clouds? If you do, put them in the chat or put them in the comments. I want to see who you see. I see one right here. Let me see if you can see it. Martin Luther King Jr. and Stacey Abrams. Who do you see? You should always be proud of who you are. Your people were strong and smart. They dreamed of things not yet seen and imagined that we could all be free. Y'all recognize who this woman is? It's Harriet Tubman. And people trusted her to get them to freedom. And she did. She was a catalyst for change. And that's how powerful trust is. Trust can change the world. Your people were fighters. When they were told they had to leave because of the color of their skin, they sat down. Your people were mighty activists, champions that struggled for justice and equality. They marched so that people would know your life matters. And they stood up and ran to make history and change lives. I'm pretty sure you all know who this man is. It's our former president, Barack Obama. Your people were trailblazers who changed laws and broke records. Today, we stand on their shoulders. Who in your life can you trust to stand on their shoulders to push you forward? When they ask you where are you from, you're from a land where the soul is dark and it matches the richness of your skin, where cotton and sugarcane were strongly rooted and match your strength and determination. You're You're from the country where time moves with ease, where kindness is cherished. We say a simple hello to our neighbors to let them know we see them. You are from a place where the aromas of cakes and pies waft through the window sills to fill your bellies with goodness and your hearts with love. Y'all, look at all this good food. You are a product of the proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. You are from a place filled with love and hope and expectation where people rooted for you to succeed. Today, we stand on their shoulders. On their shoulders, you are so strong and so loved. On their shoulders, you can reach for the sky. So what will you dream and how will you change the world? The end. And that is a picture of Mr. Sellers. And this was Who Are Your People? Written by Bakari Sellers and illustrated by Reggie Brown. Y'all, we made it through our second tenet of trauma-informed care, or TIC. And this one was all about trust. And sometimes we have to trust ourselves to be catalysts to change the world. But then other times we have to be the support system and provide the trust to other people so that they can stand on our shoulders and be the catalyst. So I'm asking you today, what are you dreaming to do? And how will trust get you there? Thanks, y'all. That was one of my favorites. Y'all, we've made it to our third building block, which is support. And with this one, I want you to think about how we can all use our voice and our uniqueness and the richness that makes us who we are to empower ourselves and our friends. And sometimes empowerment can start at any age. You can empower your friends and the people around you to be their best versions of themselves when you show up as the best version of yourself. Even when times are hard, when you push through and you power through and you do the best that you can, your friends can see that, and that can make them show up as the best version of themselves. So this book is called Why Am I Me? So this next title is Why Am I Me? And it was written by Paige Britt, Sean Qualls, and Selena Alco. And it goes with our final tenet of support. So let's get straight into it. Now, a lot of books have this really cool flap that tells you a little bit about what you're about to read. And oftentimes in story times, I don't read this part. But today I am, because I feel like this is such a reflective story that I want to give you a little bit of background before we get into it so you can get the most out of it as we read it. So it says, why am I me? Why are you you? Join two children, strangers at first, as they travel home at the end of the day, wondering the very same things, and find themselves on an extraordinary adventure. Why am I me? Is an invitation to reflect and connect and imagine a world where there is no you or me, only we. And remember, our building block that we're using for this book is support. So there's no you, no me, only we. Why am I me? Why am I me and not you? Why are you you and not me? Why is everyone who they are? And not someone else entirely? If I were someone else, who would I be? Someone taller, faster, smaller, smarter? If someone else were me, who would they be? Someone lighter, older, darker, bolder? Who in the world are we if we weren't you and me? Why am I? Why am I? Me. Why am I? Me. Hi. Hi. Me, I, you, we, me, I, you, we. The end. And that was Why Am I Me? And I chose this book as a book that talks about support because one of the main ways we can be supportive to someone is to let them show up authentically to who they are. We let people be their true selves. And that's how we can support people, by accepting them for their differences, or by accepting them for what makes them them. And when we accept and we embrace and we love people, no matter how different they are from us, that's how we can show them genuine support. And that's how we can be a safe space for someone so that they know that who they are is worthy and that you welcome them and you love them in their truest form of themselves, because there's no one like you. And that is the uniqueness and the beauty of this world. So our last tenet, y'all, was support. Reflect on that. How can you show support to someone who's different from you? How can you show them that you care and that you love them for who they are? When you do that, we create safe spaces for people so that they know that no matter what goes on in their life, no matter what obstacles they have to overcome, that they are worthy just for being who they are. Y'all, that was Why Am I Me? I love this book. Check it out from the library and let the people in your life know that who they are is good enough for you and you support them no matter how different they are from you. Thanks, y'all. Okay, friends, before we get into this last title, I want you to give yourselves a pat on the back because you made it through the 3 tenets of trauma-informed care. And they were, if you can remember, put them in the chat or in the comments, they were safety, trust, and support. Safety, trust, and support. And for this final book that I'm going to share, it is my favorite book of all time. I love this story, and it's all about loving yourself for exactly who you are. And I hope that our time together has made you feel empowered to love yourself and love those around you for who you are and for who they are. This is I Like Myself by Karen Beaumont. So for this final book, I'm going to share one of my favorites titled I Like Myself by Karen Beaumont, and it was illustrated by David Cacho. And I chose this book as my closing book because we spent a lot of time talking about how we can show up for other people, how we can create safe spaces for other people, but how about how we show up for ourselves? And I think one of the main ways we do that is when we embrace our uniqueness and we show ourselves love and we accept ourselves for who we are, and we don't try to change to fit into other people's narratives. And we understand that our unique story is what makes us so beautiful. Every unique feature about us is what makes us so beautiful and a beautiful part of this world. So to close us out, I want to read my favorite book, one of my Storytime favorites, I Like Myself. I like myself. I'm glad I'm me. There's no one else I'd rather be. I like my eyes, my ears, my nose. I like my fingers and my toes. I like me wild, I like me tame, I like me different and the same. I like me fast, I like me slow, I like me everywhere I go. I like me on the inside too, for all I think and say and do. Inside, outside, upside down, from head to toe and all around. I like it all is me, and me is all I want to be. Beautiful. And I don't care in any way what someone else may think or say. I may be called a silly nut, a crazy cuckoo bird. So what? I'm having too much fun, you see, for anything to bother me. Even when I look a mess, I still don't like me any less, because nothing in this world, can change what's deep inside. And so, no matter if they stop and stare, no person ever, anywhere, can make me feel that what they see is all there really is to me. I still like me with fleas or warts, or with this silly snout that snorts. Or knobby knees, or hippo hips, or purple polka dotted lips. Oh, look at the lips. Oh. Or beaver breath, or stinky toes, or horns protruding from my nose. a yikes with spikes all down my spine or hair that's like a porcupine, I would still be the same, you see. I like myself because I'm me. The end. Beautiful, guys. And that was I Like Myself by Karen Beaumont and illustrated by David Catron. That was our last story. And I'm so excited. And I hope that you feel empowered to pour into yourself a little bit today, to remember all of the amazing things that make you who you are, but then to also be there for your friends and be a safe space, a supportive space that provides safety, trust, and support, and love. And let us show the world we all can do it, that people can be exactly who they are, no matter what they've been through, no matter how hard they're working to overcome it. We are a safe space for all of our friends and for ourselves. So to close us out, I want us to stretch it out one more time and give ourselves a big hug. So what I'm gonna need you to do is raise your arms way up high. You can't even see how high my arms are to touch the sky. And we're releasing all of the things that could make us have a bad day. We're letting it all go. Then we're gonna take our arms to the side and shake it off. We're shaking off all our worries and all our fears. And we're gonna take our left hand and wrap it around our right shoulder and hold it real tight. And then we're gonna take our right hand and wrap it around our left shoulder. And we're gonna give ourselves a squeeze. And I think we should squeeze ourselves for 4 seconds. So let's do 1 squeeze, 2 squeeze, 3 squeeze, 4. I thank you all for being in this space with me today. And I hope that you all go out and put the work in so we can make the world a better place. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much to our presenter, and thank you to everyone for joining us. The recording of today's presentation will be on the AB Kids website, along with additional information for further learning. Don't forget to register for the rest of the series. We have one more session left, and be sure to look at all of the other wonderful Baker programming that's available. We hope to see you next time, and have a wonderful rest of your day.